Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Tuesday morning, and that means we bring back the man, myth, the legend, Mr. Lumberjack Landlord. How you doing, sir?
I've come in from the 7-degree temperatures.
You said seven?
Seven Fahrenheit.
Dude, I got a sweater on and it's like 54 outside. So
I'm not going to say what that says about you.
Well, you can't. It means I'm soft.
No. It means that you're in a nice warm place like California.
I don't mind. You can call me soft. I'm still 54 and you're 7. Doesn't matter.
You still win.
I still win.
You still win. Yeah, but I'm super excited to talk about this today because honestly, like blood was shooting out my eyeballs when I'm hearing what some of the hosts are saying on this interview that we're about to talk about.
So folks, one of the things we do is we have this private Facebook group called Three Amigos of FI. We have the One Rental at a Time Works Facebook group. And a lot of you have posted this BiggerPockets video, warnings of a new housing crash. So I refuse to watch any more crash videos, but Matt, the Lumberjack Landlord, was like, oh, I'll suck it up and watch it. Yeah. And you're a glutton for punishment. I had guessed by the title that they interviewed Ivy Zelman, and it appears that I was correct. So you watched the video. Why don't you tell me kind of the high level, and then we'll kind of get into it. What'd you take away?
So I took away what, I mean, largely speaking, what a lot of us know if you watch anything demographic, right? Mm-hmm. So let's start at the core. The core of this is Ivy Zelman. For those of you who don't know, she's not the only person that got it right. And that's what they're trying to tell you. She's not. She is one of the people that got it right. Mm-hmm. There was no movie about her.
Yeah.
Okay. So Michael Burry, a lot of other guys got it right. So she says she got it right. Agreed, she did.
Yeah.
But she was really largely looking at new home builders, and that's what she got right.
Yeah. See, so I've looked into Ivy Zelman a dozen times because people have brought it up a lot. Hey, Michael, you're crazy. Demographics going backwards. We're never going to have babies again. And all these houses, I'm like, shh, whatever. I don't buy from new builders. So yeah, you got to remember my takeaway from Ivy Zelman, and I've watched 30 hours of material with her, not this BiggerPockets article, but I've seen enough to guess what's coming. Mm-hmm. She is basically paid by Wall Street.
Yes.
She's paid. That's who her customer is.
And builders.
Right? Her customers are builders and Wall Street because they're trying to get warning signs when there's too much building in a certain area. So she, and more importantly, her partner, right? Because if you don't know, Ivy Zelman's the front person, right? She's the pretty on camera, but there's another data scientist behind her that I've seen interviewed too, but he's not as camera friendly.
I think it's her husband.
Maybe now, I don't know. When first time I saw him, they weren't, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, whatever. Maybe, I don't know. I think maybe. That's a good question, but I don't know. Anyways, there is a data scientist behind what Ivy is saying. And it is very much, you got to remember who the customer is. A lot of you hear this demographics and, Phoenix overbuilding and all of this, and you translate 500K new build homes into, I shouldn't buy a 1950s 3-2 ranch. They're not the same thing. I haven't bought a property at a new home price, or I haven't bought a property within 70% of a new home price ever, right? It's not where we play usually at one rental at a time. And then second, every time, and I've seen it about 10 times now, Ivy Zelman is put in a corner. It said, Ivy, if you're watching this video, you're not Wall Street or a builder, you're mom and pop, what would you do? Every single time she says, I would go to the core of the city that I'm in, and I would buy an older home, and I would be a landlord. I'm like, hello, Ivy Zelman's telling you what to do, one rental at a time. It's crazy.
Yeah. So to that end, that's not what she said on the BiggerPockets.
Oh, cool. What did she say?
She wasn't asked. That's the problem. She wasn't asked. If you were in the position today, what would you do with money? She wasn't asked.
BiggerPockets. We're talking BiggerPockets hosts. These are BiggerPockets hosts did not ask for their audience who is not builders. And oh my God, they didn't.
What would you, the question was not asked that I saw, and I could be wrong. I have 2-year-olds running around, but I did not see where they actually asked her, okay, you have money. How would you invest it in the housing market? Because here's what she said. Her exact words were, we were bullish. We weren't bullish on housing until 2012. And then we stopped being bullish on housing, which Mike, I'll let you translate in a second. We stopped being bullish on housing towards the beginning of 2020. So when an analyst says they're no longer bullish on something, what does that mean? That certainly means they're not telling you to buy it.
Right.
Right? Let's just deal with certainties.
Yeah.
If I'm not bullish on something as an analyst, I might be telling you hold, but I'm certainly not telling you if I'm not bullish, I'm telling you I'm saying no buy it. If I'm bullish on something, you buy it.
Yeah,
as an analyst. If I'm not bullish on something, you don't buy it. You might hold, you might sell, that's a different strategy. But if I tell you I'm not bullish on something, you're not buying. That was the beginning of 2020. Everybody do your math real quick and tell me how many percentage points of appreciation you have lost out on. 30%. Tell me about the all-time low mortgage rates you have missed out on. And now it might be if you were smart and house hack like the 4-3-2-1 strategy, it might be that your rate is in the 4s when you could have been in the 2 5s. Yeah. You've given up 1.5 percentage points in 30-year fixed rate debt. So the whole reason I watch these videos, and I can't watch all the crash videos because literally I would just go on a walk out into the woods and probably not come back.
Oh, no.
Because I would be I would be talking to myself and just like I wouldn't know what to do. So I get it how people get paralysis by analysis. But I can tell you this. As far as I heard, they did not ask her, if you had money today, how would you invest it in the housing market?
I cannot believe that BiggerPockets, that this is what I have. BiggerPockets purports to be for the little guy.
Correct. They're not.
They're now a publishing house. All their hosts are making millions of dollars raising price. It's why Brandon left, because he was probably handcuffed with all this money he could raise. So he left to get away from the handcuffs, and he still owns part of the company, I'm sure. This is, they have stopped thinking about the fact that they didn't ask Ivy Zelman for 95% of their audience. Ivy, what would you do if you have a full-time job and have some cash to invest? It's a crime. I mean, why are you watching BiggerPockets if you're not finding out what to do? I mean,
the crime is even further perpetrated, which is those two hosts admittedly are in their 30s.
Okay.
I'm not an ageist. I don't care how old you are. I care what you bring to the table.
Of course.
But they're in their 30s.
Yep.
They were not investing in the Great Recession. They were not. They are completely out of their depth. They have no comparison or contrast. One of them even said, well, I actually own a mortgage company. That's great. That's great. If you've owned it for the last 10 years, what's that market looked like?
Yeah, exactly. Been a good 10 years.
Nothing. It's not looked like anything other than this. And now you're starting to see a little bit of chop. And so that might be admitted. Yeah, there's a little bit of chop.
Oh,
talk to me.
No, hold on. This guy's in for, there will be half as many mortgage companies in about 2 years. Overhead is too high. You didn't right size. You didn't take care of your clients. You churned and burned.
I had a good friend of mine that owned a mortgage company. He opened it in 2004. By the first quarter of, and so by middle of or beginning of 2008, by beginning of 2008, he was 36 brokers.
Yeah.
By the beginning of 2009, he was 2.
Exactly.
That's not a little haircut, Mike.
No. That's like,
we no longer are going to, and then within 6 months of that, out of the business into tech. Within 6 months of that. So all I'm saying is people, I think they should watch this video. I
am so pissed off they didn't ask. Again, they forget these hosts. And again, I've stopped watching because they're all just do this, hundreds of this and millions of, they're not talking about the little guy anymore. The fact that they didn't ask Ivy, what would you tell a full-time employee who's got 40 grand put away? What would you do? Is a crime.
I don't recall them asking that question. And I think that, and the problem is all of these people that were watching the video, they're just like, oh, she's so insightful. She knows so much. She brought so much knowledge. Yeah. Guys, she doesn't own any property. She's not a landlord. She doesn't see any of those returns. Let's put it this way. Let me just be really blunt. What Ivy is recommending against is Blackrock's strategy.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being on the wrong side of everything.
Yeah.
BlackRock is buying for cash. Yes. They stroked a check and bought 2,000 homes from Zillow. They own Invitation Homes, which now has 80,000 homes for rent. Ivy Zelman's right. BlackRock's a bunch of idiots.
Yes.
That's why it's the world's largest hedge fund. It's the largest hedge fund in the world, worth trillions of dollars under management.
BlackRock, without question, are the best real estate investors on the planet.
So all I would say is that if I have to lay my camp, Ivy Zelman or BlackRock, I'm probably going to side with BlackRock.
Yeah.
And the problem that most people have had is that by not consuming the right information or by being able to filter it properly, it has put people in paralysis by analysis mode.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do is look back at the last 12 months. Forget about appreciation. Just look at the last 12 months, just the rents going up and the rates changing and what the cost of acquisition was.
Yeah,
that's my takeaway.
Again, I try to help people all the time, right? And again, if the deal doesn't make sense, don't do the deal. Right. I believe what videos like that are doing are giving people permission to do nothing, which is a huge mistake. Yep. It is always a great day to do a great deal. But Michael, I can't find a great deal. Yeah, no kidding. It's hard.
And you only need one. Like I said to somebody, and it wasn't be rude. I said, let's just say 6 great deals showed up on your plate today. Could you buy all of them? Well, no, I could only buy one. Then why do you care what the frequency of great deals are? You only need to do one. And then in all likelihood, you're on the shelf for 12 to 24 months. Yeah. You only have to do one.
Yeah, I don't like giving people permission to do nothing. And Ivy Zelman's very articulate, and she's got a great story.
Brilliant.
Pretty charts and all of the. Do you think we're not going to have rental housing anymore? Is that really what we're doing? Yeah.
Recession is coming. The charts that it is going to come. We don't know exactly when because no one does. And she even says, no one can forecast rates, including me. I have no idea what rates are doing.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you're in real estate investment, what is the principal concern of buying a rental property? It's cash flow. Yes. Cash flow is directly correlated to the rate in which you are paying on the asset in which you are acquiring, unless you are BlackRock.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of things I just want to say as we round this out. And I'm so glad I didn't watch this. The fact that they didn't ask that question, they've forgotten who their audience is.
And again, I could be wrong. I had 2-year-olds running around the entire time I was watching it, but I didn't remember that salient moment where they actually said, tell us what you do with your money today. Because that's what I asked.
The little guy. Yeah, of course. Good news. Congrats, Ivy Zelman. I'm not a home builder in Phoenix, Arizona, building 100 homes. I don't care.
Here was the example that she gave that was more bothersome to me.
Okay.
I get a call from a CEO.
Yeah.
C-suite person.
Yeah.
Okay. How many of us are C-suite people, everybody? Yeah. I don't see any hands raised, and there's good reason for that.
Yeah.
If you own your own company, okay, technically you are. But let's just talk about C-suite in a big company, right? He said, well, I bought my property for 1.5 million and I was offered 3.8 million. Hey, do any of us have this problem?
Yeah.
Michael, do you have this problem? I don't have this problem.
No.
This is not a problem. I was not recently offered 3.8 on my $1.5 million house. A, because I don't have a $1.5 million house. But B, okay, that's what the question was. And her answer was, I would sell.
Okay. Well, I mean, so let's just play this out. Oh my God.
But then didn't follow up with anything. What do you do with the $2.3 million that now is actually $1.15 million because of how it's going to be taxed? Then are you actually moving out of the area? Like there's more, it's more than just yes and no questions.
That just shows that the hosts don't care. Because again, right? So let's just say I got that question.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. C, whatever, right? Mark.
I'm C-suite. Yep, sure.
Yeah, whatever. Matt. Okay. Matt, well, that's a very interesting question. Do you own other homes, right? Where are you going to, are you going to live in your car? Are you going to make a car of your millions of dollars? I mean, where are you going? Where are you going to live? Okay, great.
I'm going to take that and retire under a bridge.
Yeah.
And not redeploying. Like, and this is it, right?
Yeah. And oh, by the way, it's not tax efficient. Yes, sure. Assuming you lived there more than 2 years and you're married, you can take $500K tax free. It's a great loophole, but you're not going to take $1.8 million or whatever it was
on 3.8, right? 3.8 million on a 1.5 house.
Yeah. Well, so 2.3. So he saves 5. So yeah, 1.8 taxed.
Yep.
Come on, guys.
So, and again, the conversation, right? This is what you and I do in our live streams every week. every week, which is somebody writes out a big long blurb. It's 3 sections. We read it because we want to do that for people. And then we say, impossible to answer you because all of the other factors aren't there.
Yeah.
Any decision that we make in our portfolios, because that's what Mike and I do, we give you what we're doing. We're not giving you financial advice. We're not giving you real estate advice. We're giving you, this is what we're doing. This is what we did. We did not have a $3.8 million house with a $2.3 million gain with a minus the $500,000. I mean, none of those things happen. And so we can't tell you, but when you give us all that information, we want to answer your question as best as we can. Yeah. The problem is that there's 19 other factors that you don't have in there. We don't know your personality type. We don't know your area. We don't know your risk tolerance. We don't know 74 things about you that are really important to then factoring into what the decision may or may not be, because the math never tells all the story.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about the CEO. So let's just say he took Ivy's. Where are you going to go? You clearly live in a pretty hotty-totty area. I mean, are you moving? I mean, maybe the answer is, hey, I'm going to move to, yeah, if you want to move from, I don't know, I guess Phoenix to Miami. I mean, just, yeah, that's just crazy. Anyways, folks, Ivy Zelman is a wonderful, you got to remember who her customers are. I love the videos where Ivy's always asked, what would you do? And the answer is, I'd buy an old home and be a landlord, kind of the one rental at a time way. I feel very good about those conversations. Where can people find you, Matt?
Lumberjack Landlord, 8 p.m. Thursday nights, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack live stream. We'll do that this week. And then 3 Amigos Thursday with you, which I'm super excited to do. And then Dion Talk Financial Freedom on his channel. And then Sundays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then Instagram at Lumberjack Landlord. Check me out there. I post something every day about Lumberjack self-management experience.
Very cool, man. Thanks again.
Thanks, Mike.